Alright guys, so I'm back and my milk is starting to get thicker. You'll notice that it's getting thicker. And continually stirring so that you don't scorch your milk. So we're just going to keep this up for just a few minutes because we're almost to that 210. And then I'll take it to the next step, which is now after we reach the 210 degrees, we're going to take our pot off the heat and we're going to let it set and get to the temperature of 110. And 110 is kind of like a warm bath where when you take and enter your starter for your Greek yogurt, which can be, you know, a cup from your last batch. If you take and have to start from scratch, I suggest you get the Chobani's. I mean, you can get whatever you want, but just make sure that it doesn't have preservatives in it. That's one of the reasons why you're doing this, and the sugar content is down. So my milk is starting to get to that 210 phase. And then once it starts, it happens really quickly. So, you know, you don't want a volcano of milk going all over your stove. That would be a hot mess. So once it gets to the 210, I'm going to take it off the heat, and then I'm going to let it cool to 110 degrees. And that's when I'm going to take and ladle out. And gingerly, very lightly, it's like folding in egg whites into a batter. Here's my Greek yogurt from my last batch. So I'm going to temper it by adding a ladle of the current milk that I have. And then I'm just going to lightly whisk it around inside the bowl. Kind of mix it up gently. I don't want to, you know, disturb the cultures. And then I'm going to add it. So, benefits of taking and making your own. Number one, you know what's in it. That's one. Two, you're reducing your sugar content. So look at the label, how much sugar and the preservatives that are in. So we're starting to get to the 210. See it foaming up there? Like a lava. You know what's in it, so there's no preservatives, there's no extra sugars, and you are getting the live cultures, which are going to help with your gut health, and your gut health is really important to your overall health. So we have now reached the volcano state, and I can't reduce it. And you see how it's starting to foam up in the pan. You want to take it off, turn your heat off. And we'll just give it a little stir. And then we're just going to leave this to rest until it gets to 110 degrees. And then we're going to ladle out a cup. And we're going to take and put it in our starter, which is a cup of the Greek yogurt from the last batch. And at this point, once we do that, once we add it into that, then I take and I wrap it up in a blanket and make it nice, put the lid on, wrap it up in a blanket, make it nice and cozy, and then tomorrow morning I'll open it up. I'll also bring you along on that journey too. And that's when I start to ladle it out. So I use these little jelly jars. So it's 1/4 of a cup size in here. And then I have these little compote containers too. So you want to make sure that you wash. And for the first time, and if your little jars have been hanging around, don't be afraid to take and sterilize them like you would go through the process of prepping your jars and your lids for a cold water bath canning. So I'm going to let this set, and as soon as we take and get to 110 degrees, I'll bring you back, and we're going to start this again.